So I had this thought this morning. I saw on social media that John Schaefer, friend of the show, obviously, tweeted this was him promoting his show yesterday. John and Jim did do the Padres wrap up show, obviously, on their YouTube channel. They do great stuff. Go check them out. But he wrote, should the Padres consider moving Ha-Seong Kim? We'll see you at 9:30 p.m. That was for his show yesterday. And I did not see that until this morning. And I saw it this morning and I was like, that's not the right question that we should be asking, or that's not the right question for this situation. This is not to get on John, but for any Padres fan that has that thought in their head, like, should the Padres consider moving Ha-Seong Kim? That's not the question here. The answer to that question, yes, of course, the Padres should consider moving Ha-Seong Kim because that's their job. That is AJ Preller's job. Now, do some Padres fans think that that is stupid to move one of your most valuable players, a fan favorite? He's on a cheap one-year contract, essentially, 1 year, $8 million that he's getting paid in 2024. If Manny's out at third base to start the year, he can go play third base, play second. Obviously, Gold Glove, utility, can play short, obviously, if Xander gets hurt, like a super valuable piece. But he only has 1 year left. And there are other guys that can play the middle infield. If they have to have someone play third, they can have someone play third. I don't know if that's Graham Pauley. I don't know if that's Eggy Rosario, Matthew Batten for a month until Manny's ready to go. But if they get the right return, I think it makes sense to deal Ha-Seong Kim. This team needs starting pitching. They need two outfielders. They still don't have a left fielder. They still don't have a starting center fielder. I'm sorry, but Jose Zokar is not a starting center fielder, or should not be the starting center fielder for this Padres team. What are they going to do with the first base situation? Are they going to have Jake play first base every day again in 2024 when we know that his value is not the highest there at first base? Ha-Seong Kim, he's not going to come back to the Padres in free agency. They just don't have the money to give him $170, $180 million, $150, whatever the number is going to be. And it just doesn't really fit the roster because they already made their bed. They chose Xander at $280 million when no other team was coming near that. They chose to give Jake Cronenworth $80 million when they didn't have to, and he had like 3 years left on his contract. I'm a big Jake fan, but I can even recognize that, yeah, the Padres did not need to do that at that time. They have Jackson Merrill coming up. You know, there are other guys that can play the middle infield. And Ha-Seong Kim, is he a valuable piece to this Padres team? Yes. But guess what? He could also get you back a good starting pitcher, in my opinion. If they trade him to the Seattle Mariners, they could get back a solid starting pitcher. They could get back a solid starting pitcher from a team like the Miami Marlins. I don't know if they would trade to the San Francisco Giants, but if the right package, again, this is important, if the right package comes AJ Preller's way, then I think it makes sense to pull the trigger. I'm not saying you trade Ha-Seong Kim just to trade Ha-Seong Kim. I know how valuable he is to this Padres team. But should the Padres consider trading him? Of course. That's not the right question to be asking. I guess the right question to be asking is, should the Padres trade Ha-Seong Kim if X, if this is the trade package, right? And we don't really know what the trade packages are or what they would be because nothing has been reported. But Bob Nightingale, USA Today, Dennis Lin has wrote about it as well. But Bob Nightingale said the other day, the San Diego Padres continue to shop valuable infielder Ha-Seong Kim, who earns $8 million in the final year of his contract, in their attempt to land pitching. And yeah, the shop word, Dennis Lin, I think he previously said that they're listening to Ha-Seong Kim offers. But the return would have to be over the line. Like, it'd have to be impressive. Where Bob is saying they're shopping Ha-Seong Kim. So they're trying to trade Ha-Seong Kim. I don't know if they're trying to trade Ha-Seong Kim. But I think they realize who is the most valuable, realistic trade piece on this major league roster right now. I mean, it's Ha-Seong Kim, right? There's other guys that are locked up to these decade-long contracts, or someone that hasn't even started his 7-year contract in Jake Cronenworth, who offensively, his numbers keep decreasing every year. Ha-Seong Kim is coming off of his career best year, and his numbers keep increasing. And it's not a long-term contract. It's 1 year for $8 million. Like, that's nothing for a team. So, yeah, and how many positions he can play. He can hit anywhere in the order, essentially. He hustles all the time. He would be a fan favorite to whatever team he goes to. there's a lot of pluses for Ha-Seong Kim for whatever team wants to get Ha-Seong Kim. So there's definitely a market. I'm sure that there are a lot of teams interested in Ha-Seong Kim's services. Will they meet the Padres offer? I think that's one of the real questions here. But yeah, consider trading Kim. Whether Padres fans like it or not, I mean, that's what AJ Preller's job is to consider all options. And so, yes, they should be considering trading Ha-Seong Kim.